Hi, this is Miss S, and these are my short teacher tips of the day, specifically for substitute teaching. This is a helpful video if you are a full-time substitute teacher or if you are a full-time teacher that is subbing during your planning period. So my tip number one for subbing is to use incentives. So what I do for whenever I have to sub during my planning period is I bring in one or two small incentives for the students. So for me, I usually just bring in one or two pieces of candy, and I tell the students during my introduction, I say, all of you have the opportunity to win a candy prize today, and I will award these 2 candy prizes to the top 2 behaved students in the class. So even though I'm only bringing literally 1 or 2 pieces of candy, all of the students want it, and so that really improves the behavior. Everyone is on board with at least trying to win this candy prize, and at the very end of the class, I award the top 2 behaved students with these incentives. Tip number 2, and I would say this is probably one of the most important for me, is to get to know all the students in the room. So whether you're in the classroom subbing for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, or even more, one of the most helpful things is to literally go around the room. It could be while students are working, whenever, and take the time to talk with each student. Get to know as many students as you can during the time that you're there, and this will drastically improve behavior in the class as you spend more time there. My experience so far is that typically students that know you and like you are more likely to respect you, whereas students that don't know you at all, sometimes there can be some disrespect there if they don't really know you that well. So my best tip, one of my best tips is to purposefully get to know as many students as possible, and when I've done this, by the end of the class, the students overall like me, they have gotten to know me, and they're typically sad when I have to leave their class. Tip number 3 is to prioritize enforcing the rules and expectations over anything else. So at the very least, have the students, follow the classroom rules and expectations, hold them to the highest expectation behaviorally over the work. So for example, it's a win in my book if you've gotten the students that you're subbing for to follow the rules and expectations, even if not a lot of work has been completed that day. It's honestly a bonus if you can also get the students to complete and do well at the work that their teacher left for them. Still encourage them to do their work and to academically do what they need to do, but at all costs, focus on having the students follow the rules and expectations, make sure they're in a seat, that they are silent and focused as needed. Prioritize this above anything else. Tip number 4, help students with their work. So like I said, still encourage the students to complete the work that their teacher left for them. And even if it's not the content area that you specialize in, still try your best to go around, help them with whatever they're working on. And if you don't know an answer to a question, encourage students to work with one another, have students help one another. So even if you don't know the answer to a question, an academic question they might have, it's a good chance that other students in the class will know and will be able to help each other. This tip is specifically for substitute teachers, like those that are substitute teaching, as their full-time job, is to go to the same schools as often as possible. So, for example, if you are subbing every day, I recommend, going to the same 1, 2, or 3 schools often, instead of just going to a different random school each day. And the reason why is because if you go to the same school or the same couple schools every day, then you'll begin to cultivate positive relationships with the students in those schools. The students will begin to remember you more and get to know you, and therefore it will be easier to manage their behavior when you're doing the job. And then my final tip is for full-time teachers that are subbing during their planning. My tip for them, for those teachers, are to introduce yourself clearly. So as soon as you come in the room, I recommend making it really clear to students, telling them, "Hi everyone, my name is blank and I work here at this school as the blank teacher." So make it really clear that you are a teacher at the school. Tell them what subject you teach at the school, just so that they are aware that you are a full-time teacher. I find that this makes a difference and just helps students to behave a little bit better for you. So all of these are my tips for you. I hope that you enjoy it, and let me know in the comments what you think. Goodbye.